bafra, superstars, media.
If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say oh, we dey go Biafra oh, we go meet am for there oh. If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say oh, we dey go Biafra oh, we go meet am for there oh. If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say oh, we dey go Biafra oh, we go meet am for there oh. ALOY EJIMAKOR, ALOY EJIMAKOR, ALOY EJIMAKOR, ALOY EJIMAKOR. When you see Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say oh, we dey go for Biafra oh, we go meet am for there oh. When you see Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say oh, we dey go for Biafra oh, we go meet am for there oh. Na Simon Ekpa be the man. Na Simon Ekpa dey do am o, ọba tó bíé, ọba tó bíé.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. We're still, we're still in great anticipation. We're still expecting, very much expectant of the announcement by 2nd December 2024 by our able, Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa Joko. We're looking forward to that date, and every day by day, every day in November, every new day until that date is a special day. And we must be talking about Biafra. We must be thinking Biafra. We must breathe in Biafra. We must be eating Biafra. We must sleep Biafra. We must wake Biafra. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, I've woken in Biafra. I'm very much, touched by a brand new message coming from none other than the council to our maximum leader, Master Nnamdi Kanu, Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR. Yes, ALOY EJIMAKOR is in the news this morning, especially for Biafra, because of a very important announcement and observation that he has made and he has discovered. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow freedom lovers, if you're ready this morning, let us quickly, go into this topic of this morning. Yes, we must articulate everything Biafra. We must express everything Biafra. We must be ready at all point in time, to breathe Biafra, to think Biafra and to propagate Biafra. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, our dear counsel to our Muslim leader, Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR, has come out bluntly and vigorously and vivaciously and with every, thing in between. He has come out to, make this very powerful postulation that finally, the northern Nigeria, the northern part of this country have agreed with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that Nigeria is an aspired nation. Nigeria has aspired as a country, as a nation. Yes, that is what Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR has very, very vibrantly, elucidated this morning. He has come up to say that the North has finally agreed with our maximum leader that Nigeria has aspired 10 years ago. 10 years ago in 2014. Yes, in 2014, following the amalgamation in, Nigeria has fully expired. Yes, expired as a country in 2014 from following the amalgamation of the groups that made up Nigeria in 1914. You know, so ALOY, West ALOY EJIMAKOR has vehemently articulated the position. The North has finally, they are now in awareness. They are now aware. They are fully aware now that when Nnamdi Kanu said what he said, that made him to be arrested, made him to be incarcerated, made him to be extradited down to Nigeria, made him to, be challenged and accused of treasonable felony, sedition, and all that, that now the North has come to grips, has come to awareness of that, truth, very truthful statement. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it and see what his position is. So you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR, the special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, on Tuesday said the North has agreed with the agitator that Nigeria has expired. EJIMAKOR was reacting to a remark credited to the spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum, the NEF, Ango Abdullahi, Professor Ango Abdullahi, that the unity of Nigeria should be renegotiated because the country expired 10 years ago. Yes. In a statement he signed, EJIMAKOR said the North should apologize to Kanu following Abdullahi's remarks. Yes, they should apologize to him. According to EJIMAKOR, earlier today, 11th November 2024, I noticed that several news outlets quoted the Northern Elders Forum and Professor Ango Abdullahi as having proclaimed that Nigeria expired 10 years ago or in 2014. They even added that Nigeria as a nation should, for this reason, be renegotiated, quote and unquote. According to ALOY EJIMAKOR, to me, this landmark proclamation is a significant departure from what was the stance of the North and even the Buhari-led federal government when some years ago Nnamdi Kanu made the same proclamation in an epic broadcast on Radio Biafra. Yes, the barrister continued. To be sure, yes, Mazi Kanu's position then, just as the North has now considered, was that the legal instrument upon which Nigeria was founded in 1914 has a fixed duration of 100 years, which expired in 2014. Yes. It will be recalled, according to the barrister, that this very broadcast was one of the major reasons Nnamdi Kanu was then charged with the offense of secession, which was later escalated to incitement of terrorism, for which he was renditioned and remains in incarceration over 3 years, awaiting some trial. So one might ask, now that the North has said the same thing, for which Mazi Kanu was arrested, renditioned, detained, and tried to court, is it not time for the federal government and even the North to show some contrition by apologizing to Mazi Kanu or acknowledging that he was right all along? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are very, very important observations and declarations by, the astute lawyer, none other than Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR, who is counsel to our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very big one. I think it should make the news everywhere. We should let this go viral. That yes, what Nnamdi Kanu said years ago, what Nnamdi prophesied years ago, what he vehemently and critically explained to Nigerians that were doubting Thomases at that time has now been fully accepted, observed, and articulated by the Northern Elders Forum, by their leader, Professor Ango Abdullahi. And it is very clear now that everything that former President Buhari, Mohamed Buhari, used as a benchmark to label IPOB as a secessionist organization, terrorist organization, to demand that our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu, be incarcerated, and undergo all the ill feelings, all the terrible situations he's enduring at the hands of the DSS, should be now properly, articulated, and apologies and reprieve be given to him. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we said everything Biafra at this point, everything about Biafra, should be highlighted, should be enumerated, because we are counting in days now. We are now counting in days. And so this very good observation, this very good, important, highlight coming from none other than an erudite lawyer, an astute lawyer, and a cerebral lawyer, and a bold and a widely acclaimed, intellectual achiever like Barrister ALOY EJIMAKOR should be given very, very prominent mention. Yes. Let me equally tell you that a few days ago, just sometime last week, when the minors that were charged, for the NSAS and bad governance protest, fell in the court, came down, a lot of them, fainting, a lot of them, somersaulting, a lot of them looking hungry, kwashokod, if you like the word, and the whole world, was outraged against Nigeria. The whole world saw that Nigeria's judicial system was in comatose. The whole world observed that what President Tinubu and his, allies in government and his officials were doing, was really, really beyond human adaptation. A lot of people, there was a massive outcry. Look, why bring minors? Why bring little children? Because they protested. You said they were arrested. They were caught protesting against bad governance. And you brought them to court looking so fatigued, looking so hungry, looking so unkept, looking abysmally, physically and mentally destroyed. The whole world spoke. Everybody was outraged. Even the judges could not bring themselves to make any further pronouncements. Of course, the reaction of President Bola Tinubu immediately at the spur of the moment was to direct with immediate effect that these children be released. Let them be released. Let the charges be dropped. Release them. That was what the man who said it is my turn. That's what the man who said it's the Jagaban. That's what the man who is, today the leader of the dungeon called Nigeria, decided. He immediately directed that those minors be released. And it is with a very happy heart that a lot of people saw the minors released and they were handed over to governors from the various states. They were fully pardoned, irrespective of judicial process, irrespective of the fact that the matter had gone to court, irrespective of the fact that police had done their so-called investigation, irrespective of the fact that courts were involved, high courts, appellate courts, and all that. The government gave it fiat, release them and let them go. They are fully pardoned, of no case against them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people equally came out and said, okay, if Mr. President can have this kind of power, if he can have this veto power, if he can have this fiat, if he can decree, if he can insist, if he can direct, but the matter that is in the court, that is undergoing court process, that has even come, that have been investigated, such a high level matter as people who were charged for insurrection, people who were charged for felony, people who were charged for, engaging in an unlawful protest, people who were charged of putting the country in jeopardy. If the president has such powers, could decide to do it with or without the judiciary, with or without following judicial process, then there is no gainsaying that the president cannot equally use the same power, use the same fiat, use the same veto, and say, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, I mean, we all realize that most of those people who were arrested, for the so-called and hardship and bad governance protest between 1st August and 10th August, were from the north. We're from the north. And if everybody were outraged by the manner of their treatment, the manner of arraignment, and then the South should equally, the Southeast should equally be considered by the manner of arraignment, by the manner of disgrace, by the, uncomfortable, unpalatable, and inhuman treatments being given to, our maximum leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They said, of course, since at one point, a judge had freed him, and if they have said severally that he is not guilty of any of the charges against him, if they say what is holding there is a judicial process, then the president equally should show a magnanimity of heart to say, look, since we consider the plight of the minors, who were brought in, who were charged for insurrection, for felony, for protesting illegally and unlawfully, for arson, and for destruction of public property. If these minors, who mostly are from the north, could be released, could be given presidential pardon at with such a military dispatch, at such a short notice, despite legal processes involved, despite the investigations that have been done, despite the judicial processes that have been involved, then equally the president should, in that magnanimity of heart, the president should use that same consciousness. That's that he should consider the Southeast and release unconditionally, unconditionally grant Mazen Nnamdi Kanu freedom, pardon, and everything, because it has been vigorously, judicially exposed. It has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has no case to answer. He is a man of peace. He is the one that has been offended by the outrageous manner in which Nigeria, grabbed him, kidnapped him, renditioned him from Kenya down to Nigeria. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This is what we do in Biafra Superstars Media. We say how it is. We don't bend it. We don't embellish it. We say it the way it is. We call a spade a spade. Mr. President, you have granted the youths, the minors that were paraded, detained, and charged with seditious, charges, felony, disrupting public peace, and getting, lawful assembly. I mean, they have been detained for so long and brought to the court to face judicial process. They were arraigned, and if the whole world was outraged at the way and manner these people have been treated, the way and manner these people have been, kept in the custody of, the Nigerian police, the security agencies, and then the president used his own veto, granted them immediate pardon, granted their immediate release, asked them to be given to governors of their respective states. All the charges dropped. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is only proper that this same gesture, this same magnanimity of heart from, the man who say it is my turn, Emiloko, this man, he should be granted and given to none other than Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because he is also, charged, he's also prosecuted and persecuted by the judicial process of this country, by the law enforcement officers of this country, especially the DSS. Yes, that is not asking for too much. So, ladies and gentlemen, the clarion call this morning is two ways. In the first instance, we have articulated the observations, very, very, astute observations of none other than the counsel to Muslim leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who said he observed and he heard what Professor Ango Abdullahi, chairman of the Northern People's Forum, Northern Elders Forum, and equally he has seen what they said, that they have agreed and they have equally articulated the fact that yes, Nigeria, considering the 1914 amalgamation, was actually intended to last as a country for 100 years. After which, after which there should be a referendum. After which there should be a uh, you know, they should again, a renegotiation. They should renegotiate on the modus vivendi, and the way forward. So he said this was the same thing Mazen and the Kanu was arrested for. This was the same thing that made them charge him for felony. This was the same thing that made them charge him for seditious statements. This was the same thing that made former President Mohamed Buhari, to proscribe the IPOB group and call them, a nefarious group, an insurgent group, and you know, all sorts of unpalatable names. He said, it is time. Since the North have seen the truth, since the North have seen the light, they should come out boldly and apologize to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and deproscribe the IPOB. Yes, the IPOB group that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu represents as a leader. And equally too, we have brought up the second argument that since this country was outraged over, the minors that were charged, the hashtag uh, uh, bad governance protest between 1st August and 10th August, this thing, this were brought to court, and the whole world was outraged, and the president, Bola Tinubu, felt no, he has to use his executive fiat. He has to use his veto power and not considering the judicial processes that are already ongoing, not minding what the judges are planning to say, not minding that judgments have been written, not minding that trials have become. He set those people free. He gave them national pardon, and he sent them back to their respective governors, clean, acquitted, and without any case. So the people in the southeast are saying, because the majority of the people are coming from the north, and you have granted them pardon, I mean, saying they have no case to answer, on you mitigated their judgments, saying no need for any judgment, go, you're free, you're free. We want that done to our own son. We want that done to our own leader, Mazen and Kanu. We want that done to our own Southeast to show equity, to show fairness, to show justice. That is not asking for too much. I don't think it's asking for too much. Is it? I don't think. So, my fellow Biafrans, my fellow freedom lovers, I think it's important at this point that we begin to talk Biafra, we begin to think Biafra, we begin to sleep Biafra, because the days are coming. Yes, the hour is near. Yes, there's no going back now. No going back. 2nd December 2024 is very much around the corner. Is now. It's uploaded. This is when our veritable Prime Minister, yes, our Excellency, Simon Ekpa should be given every support, should be given every vigorous opportunity. We should all put our hands on deck. We should motivate him. We should encourage him. We should stand by him, because these are not going to be easy things. These are not going to be easy times. These are not going to be, business as usual. This is a very strong, very important uh, occasion, very important milestone in the life of the struggle for the indigenous people of Biafra. We must achieve the United States of Biafra. Even the North has said it. Even their professors in the North have said it. Even the chairman of Elders Forum have said it. They have known the truth all the time, that since 1914, the amalgamation of this country by Lord Lugard into one single entity, bringing different nationalities, bringing different regions to come and form a country. It was supposed to be a trial period. It was already established, and they put 100-year mark on it. Let us see how it goes. Lord Lugard said, let us see how it goes. He and all those his friends who sat together. Let's try this thing. Let's experiment. Bring them from the north. Bring them from the southeast. Bring them from the west. Bring southwest. Bring them from the south. Bring all these people together. Bring them from the southern Cameroons. Bring all these people together. Let us see if they can coexist as a country. Let us see how they can, how they can merge in the next 100 years. Let us see if it will work out. And if it doesn't work out, 100 years from now, by 2014, let there be a referendum. Let there be a renegotiation. I think that is very clear. That was the wishes. That was the plans of the colonial masters. That was how it is. And so when the Igbos are saying it's about time now, when Biafra is saying we have considered our situation for the past 100 years in this country, I mean, the past 100 years, we have not had a sigh of relief. In the past 100 years, we are finding it difficult to breathe. We can't breathe. In the past 100 years, here we are. We cannot aspire. We cannot attain. We can't ever, get the highest post of the land. They don't allow us to govern. They don't allow us to be in leadership positions. They suspect all our motives, even in the lands of, in terms of business. They make sure no seaways, no airlines, no good roads, no rails are provided or located in the south, in the southeast, and within that environment. They make sure our businessmen must come to Lagos to clear their things or go to Port Harcourt to clear their things, so that it will cost them a lot of taxation. It will cost them double taxation. It will cost them a lot of strenuous efforts and activities to get their business running. I mean, this is 100 years. 100 years since 2014. And the Igbos, the Biafrans, are still treated as a second fiddle, as a second-class citizen, as a subjugated people, a subjugated people, as a conquered people. You came out after a civil war that was held between 96, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. And you came out from that war where you nearly annihilated the whole people of Biafra. You came out from that civil war and you chanted, you said to the whole world, no victor, no vanquished. No victor, no one vanquished. And you're saying, come back. We're going to rehabilitate you. We are going to reconstruct your place. It's a permanent, total reconciliation for everybody. The 3 R's that was propounded and propagated by General Yakubu Gowon. Yet, at the end of the day, you gifted these people with only 20 pounds. 20 pounds. What did you expect them to do with 20 pounds? 20 pounds that some people buy ice cream and burger with. 20 pounds that a lot of people use to go for picnic. 20 pounds that in London, people at that time would use it and go to the museum. You gifted the whole man with his family, with his uncles, with his grandfather, with his grandmother, with his children, who had nothing else, who had no more money because his funds were trapped in the bank. Everything about him was trapped. His business had been set afire. He has lost his abandoned property. His property was declared abandoned and legitimately taken over by people from other states where these properties were built, and the governments of the states, declared them abandoned properties in a country where you're supposed to be equal, in a country where you're supposed to be, one, in a country where you seek justice and equity and fair play. You declare somebody's property as abandoned. You declare somebody's business as abandoned. You take over somebody's business empire. You take over his land. You take over his businesses. You take over his hotels. You take over his conglomerate in the name of abandoned property. I don't know what level of injustice this is. I don't know who sees these things and doesn't want to talk about it. And when the Biafrans begin to enumerate these grievances, they are grievances saying, we don't want this to be. You cannot ask us to be in a country where you don't want us to survive, where ab initio you want us to die, where ab initio we're regarded as second-class citizens, where ab initio you know there's no hope for us, where there's no goals, where we can't achieve our goals, where we can't achieve business growth, where our children cannot live as first-class citizens, where we're treated as second-class citizens, where we're treated as a conquered nation. and you say we should act like this are normal, and you say we should take everything as normalcy, and you're saying we should go on with one Nigeria. Tell that to the Marines. Tell that to the birds. No, we've outgrown this. So 2014, this country became 100 years. And that was what Lord Lugard and his acolytes, Lord Lugard and his associates, the Lord Lugard and his friends wanted to experiment, bringing everybody down into one entity called Nigeria. Different nationalities, different kingdoms, different ideas, different ideologies, different mode of vivendi, mode of life, mode of operations, everything different. And you bring them together and you say they should coexist. For 100 years, they cannot coexist. And you say they don't have a right to renegotiate, a right of referendum? No way. No way. So, Aloy Jacko, Pastor Aloy Jacko has said it clearly. He said it today. Yes, the Northern Elders Forum. Yes, their chairman, Professor Ango Abdullahi. They have observed. They have said. They've agreed that yes, truly, truly, in with every amount of seriousness, with every sincerity of heart, this country called Nigeria has expired. It has expired 10 years ago. If it is food, by now it can no longer be eaten, can no longer be consumed. It should be gathered together, burnt, burnt, and buried if it was bad food or something to be consumed. But because it's a country, because it's made up of living organisms, people of different nationalities, what should be done, according to them, is what was proposed by our own maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Let's renegotiate. Let there be a referendum. Let's decide whether we want to be together. Let's decide whether we want to go our separate ways. Let's determine how we want to be ruled. Is the presidential system still feasible? Is it a parliamentary system? Is it a confederation? Should the power be in the center? Should Abuja have all the power in the world? Or do we decentralize power? These are the things, these are the facts that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu came and enunciated to everybody. And of course, they gave him a bad name. They called him a seditionist. They called him a secessionist. They called him a felon that grabbed him, kidnapped him, renditioned him back to Nigeria, kidnapped him from Kenya, a British citizen, a man who was doing his legitimate business, going around legitimately. They brought him and have since confined him, whether he liked it or not, in very hazardous conditions at the DSS dungeon. Meanwhile, people are watching. Meanwhile, where many Nigerians are watching, nobody's shouting, nobody's calling for his release. But immediately they brought up so-called minors. Immediately they brought up so-called minors from the north. Immediately they brought up people who had engaged, according to the government, in unlawful hashtag bad governance protests between 1st of August to 10th of August. Immediately they brought them on into the court. Immediately the judges stood up to give, the judgments. Immediately there was a rapid, harsh, massive outcry, outcry. What has happened? The president rose to the occasion instantly, using his executive fiat, instantly taking that bold decision, instantly, magnanimity of heart, instantly, magnanimously, granting them national pardon with immediate effect, sending them, transporting them to the governors of their various states. Wow, the whole world is clapping. Nigerians are clapping. But nobody is considering the Igbo man, the man from the southeast, who has equally been put into such, unfavorable conditions, unpalatable conditions, back to back, close to 4 years now. And nobody saying, Mr. President, use that same gesture, use that same magnanimity of heart, use that same, spirit of humanity in you and bring out Nnamdi Kanu. Let's consider the plight of the Biafrans, consider the plight of the Southeast. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should chew on these things. We should chew on these things because these times are indeed very fearful times because we can see clearly the handwriting on the wall, we can see that the average Biafra man has nothing to expect, from this government, from these people called Nigeria. You don't expect any good. You don't expect any magnanimity of heart. You don't expect anybody to show you kindness or love, just like they do for other regions of the country. It's very glaring. Anytime you mention the Southeast, anytime you mention Biafra, the laws are changed. They are made stricter. They are made more difficult. Even the judiciary is deliberately attuned to make things far, far more tougher, far, far more difficult for the Biafran fellow. But we are glad to know that, yes, we are not sleeping. We are glad to know that finally, the North has agreed. And so let's see how it will be now. Let's see how former President Muhammad Buhari will react now. Now that he has seen his own people, he has heard his own people say that Nigeria has expired as a country, 100 years old, 1914 to 2014. Now that he has heard his Northern Elders Forum, of which he's a member, say that what Nnamdi Kanu said, what he's been charged for, why he's been arrested, and what he's arrested for is actually, a truth situation, is actually a truth, revelation that Nigeria has actually expired. Let us see if they will now prescribe IPOB and really say, yes, these people are not secessionists, these people are not seditious in nature, these people are not felons. They are indeed saying it as it is. They are calling a spade and not an agricultural instrument. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is completely, totally innocent and not guilty of any charges, equally as the judges have actually proclaimed him severally. Let them grant him pardon unconditionally. Let's move forward. Let them look into Nigeria's situation and agree with us that the Biafrans have every right for self-determination. That's what we are. That's where we are. That's the page we are now. That's the time we are now. So everybody, rise up. This is our chance. Rise up. Support. Give every support to, our able Prime Minister, the indefatigable Simon Ekpa and Joko. This is the time. This is now. The time is right. Rise up. Every Biafra, every freedom lover. Remember, Nigeria expired 2014. Remember, Lord Lugard and co. They brought this contraption called Nigeria, brought in different nationalities, different people with different backgrounds, different cultural exposures, different religious backgrounds, and they forced it, compressed it, forcefully, trying to achieve a unity. Of course, they couldn't. It has exploded right into their face. It has exploded since 2014. It is obvious, clear, highly, flagrantly clear that these people cannot stay together because they are different countries, they are different nationalities. Let renegotiation take place. Let there be a reevaluation. Yes. And of course, let every region seek its own self-determination. That's what we're trying to achieve with the United States of Biafra. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity this morning. I hope we have interacted. I hope my message is clear. If you like it, let's move it on. Spread it. Use it. Let's energize our own Prime Minister. Let's encourage him. This is the right time. This is the best time to speak. The time is now. No other time is better than this time. Encourage him. All hands on deck to achieve the United States of Biafra, a sovereign state of the United States of Biafra. This is our chance. This is our time. And the United States of Biafra has come to be. No going back. No going back. Yes, that's the way it is. Good morning. Thanks, everybody. And it's a pleasure, interacting with you. Bye-bye.
You say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there ALOY EJIMAKOR ALOY EJIMAKOR. ALOY EJIMAKOR. ALOY EJIMAKOR. When you see Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say ho, we dey go for Biafra ho, we go meet am for there ho. When you see Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say ho, we dey go for Biafra ho, we go meet am for there ho. Na Simon Ekpa be the man. Na Simon Ekpa dey do am o, ọba tó bíé, ọba tó bíé.